Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Have you ever asked yourself this? Have you ever asked yourself, what if an ESFJ stops by? Do I have enough wall signs? Can I offer to lend him a copy of Living with Joy? You are Broccoli Todd first. A little word has whispered in my ear that it's somewhat probable that an ESFJ might stop by tonight, my house. The ESFJ fairy came and told me. So I'm preparing for that eventuality by titling this video, What if an ESFJ stopped by? Hi, Ron Allen Salon. Well, you'd probably have to put out what's known as a ESFJ candle. It's a combination of different ESFJ smells that draws ESFJs towards your house.
I like that idea.
Yeah, you can buy it at Yankee Candle Company, I think.
I think you can too.
Pretty sure.
Candle, yeah.
Are ESFJ males jocks? Generally, kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like my ESFJ neighbor from a long time ago, Johnny, he played football in high school, was quite a good linebacker. They got this whole rah-rah team. They're very much ones to buy into the idea that, God damn it, because we're a team and we're going to make it together. And man. But Abraham did himself, ESFJ Abraham, participate in a competition in high school, but it wasn't a sport. It was speech and debate.
Wasn't it a sport?
I said Abraham did compete on a team in high school, but he competed on a speech and debate team, not on a athletics team. INFP ESFJ compatibility. I would guess it would be pretty good. And the reason I would say so is you've got your 1-5 lined up properly. You've got your 6-7-2-3 lined up properly. And you've got your 4 and 8 not interfering with each other. That may be the answer to the question that I've been trying to find an answer for a long time. What's the right type for an INFP? Heretofore, I basically concluded there is no right type for an INFP. They're just kind of fucked. But maybe it's ESFJ.
Maybe.
I think ESFJs work fine with INTPs as well. But it's, INFP is... Well, sociologists would call INFP ESFJ's mirage type. But, and under my current understanding of things, that's not ideal for judgers, although it is ideal for perceivers. But it certainly isn't bad. So even if duality is correct for INFP and ESFJ romantic relationships, I would suggest that the mirage relationship, INFP and ESFJ, might actually have more potential. And here's why. If you put an INFP with say an ESTJ, which is their dual, their mushy NI countervaluedness gets responded to by counter mushy NI blindness. Whereas I think really they might respond more well to mushy NI blindness like the ESFJ gives. So I don't know. Just a thought that just occurred to me since I've never really been asked that question before. Ron Allen Salon, INFP and ESFJ. Interesting combo. I haven't put really any thought into it, but yeah, I think maybe that's the best type for INFP. Now that I think about it. So, somebody else in a video today that I had put a comment saying, basically, Eric, you're being reductive about this whole 4 sides of the mind thing. We get it that it's not that it's a metaphor, but it's nevertheless a useful metaphor because people do display those kind of variants of themselves throughout their life. They displayed specifically those 4 variants. It's not the N, it's the F by Jen's Fall. That's what I'm saying. ESFJ, INFP is supposed to, by duality standards, go with ESTJ. But what I'm saying is that they're going to get, the INFPs ever-changing any mush that countervalues NI will get, will be responded to by blind NI that's mushy itself by the ESFJ rather than blind NI that's counter mushy. So it's like ESTJ is always going to be scolding INFP for being too mushy and too feelingy, and whereas the ESFJ is going to continually shift along with them, trying to provide new feelings and everything, never worried about the fact that there's no permanence here because they're unipolar. It's like they're fine with the INFP constantly moving the goalposts on them because they're unipolar. They expect goalposts to constantly be moved. Anyway, what was I about to complain about? I was complaining about something important. Oh, yeah. This 4 sides of the mind thing. I'm not trying to say that it should be dismissed simply because people don't exercise cognitive functions that way. Although it is true that it's not a cognitive function based understanding of things. It's instead a description of how people display in terms of affect in different times and circumstances in their life. So it's a descriptive thing, really, not an explanatory thing. But regardless, I get that people can act like different forms of themselves in different circumstances. That's not. I don't disagree with that. I've explained that I can look a lot more like an ISFJ in the face of, and when I'm in the immediate aftermath of trauma. But there's also, according to the 4 sides of the mind, that I also have times when I look like an ESFP and times when I look like an INTJ. Except I don't seem to see any of those times. I look at my whole life and I really don't see any of those times. I get the ISFJ one because I have seen that when I've been traumatized. I've seen that in myself. See how I retreat to SI, and I get that one. But since when? Hi, come on in. Since when do I have periods of time when I act like an INTJ or an ESFP? I really just don't think I do.
Yeah, thanks.
Which brings us back to the title of this live stream, which is what would happen.
Oh, did you?
What would happen if an ESFJ stopped by? Well, I bet you he wouldn't come empty-handed. He'd ridiculously come with like a housewarming present or something, like a real grown-up. Oh my God! It's Carl Jung's Synchronicity.
Nice one.
Yeah.
That's is this the album with So Lonely on it?
I don't know. I couldn't find the one by Eric Strauss, so I had to go with that one.
That's a Police joke, by the way, Abraham.
Oh, okay.
Because the Police have an album called Synchronicity.
I see you finally got your what is that again?
This thing?
The
Circle light?
Logitech, the C922.
Oh yeah, I did. I got a better camera, and then Delilah got me that light as a present, and that little stand thing that it's on. And
That's tight.
let me go.
Yeah, after you came over here and you were talking about his stuff, I was like, I think we can upgrade the camera.
Right.
So for Christmas, I got him a new
That's nice.
thing.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's much better looking than the old camera.
Yeah, I'm Abraham. Sometimes I come in on my phone, so I come in under Union Season or whatever. Some people mispronounce
His
Onion
correct-
Season.
His correct name is Abraham.
Yeah, that is my correct name. And every now and then, Abraham.
Abraham. So Abraham, I guess this is your first here talking to French people. This is the chance where you got to actually learn what I do behind the scenes. He's my former right-hand man in autonomy debate. I've kept this whole internet stuff secret from him the whole time. So is it a shock to you to be here today and realize that, wow, Eric actually is on the internet?
It's everything I wouldn't have imagined.
Yeah, sure. Incorrigible Kitten asks, "Are you alone?" No. As long as I'm here, Abraham's never alone.
As long as Eric is on the planet, I'm never alone.
Yeah.
Some people say, "I am the sunshine of his life." Yeah. Because I'll always be around.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Well, he needs a little local sunshine because what he doesn't have is a local Susie.
Are you thirsty?
What?
Would you like a drink or anything?
Oh, I'm okay.
And by the way, Abraham,
Thank you.
don't feel obligated at all to hang out any longer than you feel like.
No, I just
Just
wanted to
FYI.
swing by and say hi.
Sure, I understand.
Yeah.
Would you like a bong rip?
No, I'm okay.
Look at him. What responsible guy.
Mhm.
You see that? What a responsible, upstanding citizen he is.
Man, it's been pouring today.
Yeah.
So
Legends fall. Yes, they are prone to moving the goalposts themselves. I was married to one. She moved the goalposts on me constantly. But that's not always a bad thing. Some people like to have their goalposts less static than other people.
Mhm.
If an INTJ dropped by, he would ask you a totally random question and leave. Okay. Take your word for it.
Who's
Aaron. And Hambone's here. Hi, Hambone.
Oh.
Hambone suggests it might be a raid of some sort. Yeah, well, I don't know what he'd be raiding me for. Probably failure to yield. That's a possible traffic infraction you can get if you don't yield to the yield sign. Or inadequate yar on a boat.
I missed my first debate room the other day.
Ooh. Yeah, this is my former right-hand man. My number one employee.
I never thought I'd miss one.
Really?
Yeah, I never thought I'd miss one, but I did. And it was because I'd been working nights, and I signed up before I started working nights, and so I knocked out. I tried to take a nap, and when I woke up, I had 10 missed calls.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh man.
I don't like that, that's for
I
sure.
was like, I told them the truth. I was like, hey, I knocked out, my bad.
That's
But because I'm it never happens with me. They were just like, oh yeah, it's fine.
Abraham and I have had a lot of adventures. We went to Berkeley together. The tournament that Rachel and I went to, Abraham and I went up to that same area for the Harker tournament.
Oh.
That was a really fun trip.
Yeah, that was nice.
I enjoyed it. We stopped at Harris Ranch on the way up and had steaks.
That was really nice.
And then we went to Utah together.
Yep.
And
fun.
Utah was very interesting. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and
Utah was the high point of autonomy. At Utah, I had a pretty good sized squad. We did pretty well, but I mean, we at least one of our squads did quite well.
Well, we had several high points, right?
Yeah, we did. And the thing is, but I mean, as far as like at that tournament, we had you there, Kunkel there, Delilah and Zachary, and Justin,
and
fucking Felix.
Felix.
I had 6 like young adults helping on that trip, and I probably had like 12 or 13 kids. I don't remember exactly, plus their parents and stuff. We had a big van, and we drove straight up to Utah from LA, I think. And Felix is another ENTP.
Felix is off studying some really obscure fucking major up north.
Well, I mean, Felix and I started arguing with each other in Riverside, and took a break in Vegas. And then resumed arguing with each other for another 5 hours.
I remember that, yeah.
And at some point, I think everybody in the band was like, "Shut the fuck up!"
No, I mean, for me, honestly, it wasn't like that bad. I think I was more concerned because I think like at one point I woke up from a nap and you guys were still going at it, and I was like, "Fuck, man, are they okay?"
Well, there were different periods of time, right? Some of the time we were screaming at each other at the top of our lungs, and some of the time we were just arguing with each other. But it's like, because here he is, he's an ENTP, Felix is, and he's totally wrong in his politics, and determined that he's gonna win these arguments, and he's completely fucking wrong. But he's a debate experienced and capable ENTP, so he can try to swirl away from shit like all kinds of ways, Anyway, that was a fun trip. That was also an occasion where the only disappointment I really had that trip was that I was hoping that Delilah and Zachary would hook up.
INTP?
Yeah. But they were both going into new relationships.
Oh.
So I guess they didn't really, it was probably good they didn't, because that would have made them wicked. But I really wanted to, the winning debate team should debate the whole way up. Oh, no, not really. I mean, the thing is, debaters are like racehorses. You get them prepped up to a certain point. If you continue to try to make them prep beyond that, it's not useful and can be harmful. When I see the name dabbing flight, I think of Felix. Felix liked to do flights of dabs. Yeah, Felix had his dab where he could bring it over to our Temple City house, and we'd get, he was a big believer in at least getting a substantial amount of the dab sweats, So anyway, Felix and I both got along fine, and were at each other's throats quite a bit because freaking younger ENTPs can just suck it.
Well,
Yeah, it's
Some-
like
you
that,
know, you're one.
that smug ass sanctimonious little fuck.
Felix, I like talking to Felix because Felix would, at that time, some of the political views I had, Felix was capable to kind of make some of them more concrete for me, and so I would be able to use that in any of the like shit that I would work with Congress kids with.
What did he call himself?
And then people would buy it, and this is how we, it was all like a working system that we had.
What was his nickname for
We
himself?
used to call him Fee Rex.
No, but he called himself something like a Mexican version of white chocolate. Like,
I have no fucking clue.
he used to call himself Oh man, I don't
Was it in
remember either.
Spanish?
It was some sort of like clever play on a sort of racial slur about Mexicans that he'd call himself that, but it was a variant of it that was just sort of, it was an ENTP move, you know? It was like one of those things. I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty funny. There's an episode of Talking with Famous People where he interviews Zach.
Who, Felix?
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably watch that.
In Utah, from Utah. I had, like I said, here, you interview Zach or whatever. And they did.
Yeah, I should probably see that. That would be interesting to watch. They want to know if I'm dating Susan and having sex with her and all kinds of weird shit.
Who wants to know that?
What is it? Leaf trimmer and incorrigible kitten or something. Yeah. That's
well,
funny.
obviously, when people are separated by a physical distance, it's not possible for their genitals to touch each other. I mean, Abraham is
obvious.
carrying around quite the horse cock, but it's not going to reach. It's not going to reach all the way to Norway.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
Obviously, they can only have sexual intercourse with each other when they're in the same place. No doy. But I think you're still planning to
it's
Norway,
up
right?
them. It's up them plates who has that, not leaf trimmer. My bad.
Yeah. Don't. Leaf trimmer's been falsely accused of something. Everybody, watch out.
Yeah, my bad.
It's funny though, Abraham, because Leaf Trimmer's always freaking out about every little thing that anybody says that's like a wrong accusation. I did not.
Octavio Silva says, Eric, get back on camera, you weirdo.
I'm smoking. I'm right here. I'm not far away. All right, fine. Do this then. Fuck Abraham. You can look at me.
You can watch me smoke. That's cool.
There. How's that?
Eric, what is the weirdest cigarette you've ever smoked?
Some Chinese cigarette. I got occasional packs of cigarettes in. Oh, shit bus is here. Good. Shit bus is one of my favorite contributors to the community. He only usually has one thing to say. Shit bus. But if that's your only word, it's not such a terrible word. I would like to get everybody to chime in on my new and exciting poll, which I'll read out loud.
Oh, I voted, I believe.
It's a pretty good poll.
Poll?
I put up polls all the time.
Doing polls on the community.
What the fuck is a poll?
Look, I'll show you.
Oh, POLL.
Yeah.
Yes, a POL.
I thought you meant like a stick, like a pole. I was like, what?
You've been exiled to a Star Wars world, but get to pick which one. Dagobah, Yoda's world, there is no try. Hoth, slit open a Tauntaun's belly and snuggle up inside. Mandalore, have lunch with Boba Fett. Naboo, chill with Jar Jar. Or Tatooine, party on Jabba the Hutt's floating barge.
Damn.
Everyone wants to chill with Jar Jar because he's a fucking ESFJ.
Is he?
Is Jar Jar an
ESFJ? fucking Jar Jar, you know? So.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're in the live chat and you'd like to chime in on this important matter, Shitbus is not a Star Wars world. Shitbus, okay? Thanks, Leaf Trimmer. I thought it was a good poll too. I was pretty proud of myself for coming up with that one. And you know what made me decide to? You have a temporary truce with Boba. He promises not to shoot you with any of his arm shooting things. You guys are both having quinoa. We're having quinoa salad with chopped up Jar Jar Binks for lunch.
Quinoa salad. I think that is the most like what's that word I'm looking for? Like pretentious fucking thing to be eating. Like, hi, what's up? What are you having for lunch? I'm having a quinoa salad. Like you can't even say that casually. You have to say that like if you even try to say it casually, it's like you're saying it with your pinky up.
I'm having a quinoa salad with gluten-free tofu and almond milk.
Oh god, that sounds like a very loose stool shit.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's these contemporary foods and all the processing that we put through them, they're destroying our bodies. We need to consume things that are raw and natural so we retain all their nutrients. Would you like a bowl of twigs and pebbles?
Twigs and pebbles. That's
What ingredients go into quinoa salad?
Mostly twigs and pebbles. I think it's quinoa plus, I guess, lettuce or something. I don't know.
I prefer downstream pebbles,
Downstream.
not upstream pebbles.
Yeah, you gotta get the real good smooth ones. Otherwise, they scratch your throat on the way down.
No.
And they scratch your rectum on your way out.
Hey Abraham, I got a riddle for you.
I'm really bad at that.
What's both a cheese and a dwelling?
Fuck is a dwelling?
An abode, a residence, a house.
Okay, a cheese and a house? Fuck.
You want me to tell you the answer?
Wait, let me think about it.
Okay.
It's how many words is it? Just one? 2 words?
Good question. Smart question. Somebody's thinking. He must have looked at his wall sign today that says, "Today I choose smart."
Wait, it's 2 words.
Yeah.
Like 2 words in one? Or like
No, it's 2 separate words.
Okay. Okay,
I was looking when we came up with this.
What is both the dwelling and the cheese? Oh, what is both the dwelling and the cheese?
I mean, I don't know. Can you live in a cheese?
Cottage cheese.
God, that's so bad. Oh no. I don't know if I can live with myself after that.
I made that up
Oh
all by
god.
myself.
The level of dad joke is
would-
just like fuck.
I was not thinking cheese would be the second word.
Oh, you were just thinking cottage.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because, that is a cheese is implied by the question, I suppose. But since he asked the question, the answer is technically 2 words, I guess. Why did so many go for Jar Jar? Maybe his world's better. See, I don't really know what Jar Jar's world looks like. If you go to Dagobah, you get swamp. If you go to Hoth, you get ice. If you go to Tatooine, you get desert. If you go to Mandalore, you get war. I'm not really sure what happens in Jar Jar's world. I don't really remember what his world looks like at all.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's really relevant. I think the fact that Jar Jar is why people want to hang out with him. It's fucking Jar Jar, I mean.
Well, see, I'm not completely convinced that people do want to hang out with Jar Jar. Do you want to hang out with Jar Jar?
I would say so because, I mean, any activity with Jar Jar would be interesting. You could be jumping off a bridge with Jar Jar, and I think that would still be better than jumping off a bridge by yourself.
Misa no want to jump off there. Misa's scared to jump.
Oh, I forgot that's the way he talks.
Yeah. He talked in pidgin. He spoke in pidgin. Who was it I thinking about? Or there are these like kind of androidy characters in this one anime, and the only difference in how they talk and how people talk is they don't use any pronouns, so they refer to themselves by their name. Like Eric is going to go over there and do this now, but other than that, they talk exactly like the regular people. So it's like, okay, why is it that you can make these perfect androids that are just like regular people, talk just like regular people, but you can't teach them to use pronouns? That's what I call lacking verisimilitude. Verisimilitude meaning believability in art. Like, for example, if your character is trapped onto a roof and then he just notices, oh my gosh, look, somebody left a hang glider right there. How convenient. And gets on it and flies away to safety. That's just too convenient. Not really believable, right? You have to set that up as a writer ahead of time. You can't just get your main character out of a fix by him happening to come across, oh, fortunately, someone left an old hang glider right here. I'll just climb aboard this and fly away. That's lacking verisimilitude. Let's see what's going on here in the chat.
I have some oldies. Ghost is here.
There's always a bigger fish, says Ghost. Not if you catch the biggest fish.
Discord is a crazy place.
Look, if you catch a blue whale, you're really not going to catch a bigger fish. Eric, I stink. Why do I stink? I actually just took a bath not that long ago.
Facts.
Truth and truth. If you're chilling at Jabba's palace, you can catch a ride to wherever you want to go after a weekend of the craziest party and watching a few rancor feedings. Well, also you get to have Leia in her metal bikini.
Wait, you get that as a part of the?
Well, I mean, she's there.
So
I'm just saying you get to watch her. You get to watch her be tugged around on a chain by Jabba if you want. You know?
I was there. I tried to save her.
You won a VIP pass on a radio contest in Tatooine after you've been exiled there for an invitation to Jabba the Hutt's swinging jazz and hip hop soiree, which happens, every 3 months. You got invited.
Wow.
You got a VIP pass. You want it, so that guarantees you Jabba's not going to throw you down into the hole to get eaten by things. He won't make you kiss him or lick you. And and you will get plenty of you get to be a guest. You get served drinks and stuff rather than, like a slave or something. So that's a pretty good deal.
I like your version.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good deal.
It is.
Of course, will it nevertheless be gross to hang out by Jabba? Well, you know what? We don't really know what he smells like. Maybe he smells like magnolia flowers or something. Eric, can you ask Abraham if he can name the similarities between two of his favorite movies? Name two of your favorite movies and how they are similar.
Honestly, man, I don't watch that much fucking movies. I can think about what I think my favorite movies are. Two favorite movies and the similarities. I'd say one of my favorite movies growing up was I Am Legend, the one with Will Smith and the zombies and shit. And then the most recent movie I watched was a movie on Amazon that's called The Map of Little Things, which is this rom-com. And the biggest similarity between those two is that the way the storyline is structured, it definitely takes you on an emotional roller coaster because of all the things that go on between the main characters and how they develop the character and demonstrate the character. And as the movie progresses, that, helps you it facilitates the process of you creating a connection between the character. So thereby, or that might just be me, I'm not sure. But then after that, I mean, anything that happens or occurs makes,
Sounds like good analysis to me.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I was expecting your two favorite movies to be Sophie's Choice and Out of Africa, and the similarity to be that they both have Meryl Streep. But I was wrong.
Yeah, the rom-com, honestly, that's only because it's the most recent thing I watched. I watched that yesterday. But other than that, it's called the Map of Little Things or something like that.
What do you think?
I don't know. I just thought the girl was really hot.
Who's in it? Who's in it?
It's they're not that famous actors, but I know it's Catherine Newton or something like that. And
There's the Fig Newton fortune.
Something like some other guy. Still waiting for the sequel to say Sophie's Choice. I don't get that one. The fuck is Sophie's Choice?
Sophie has to make another choice.
Sophie's Choice is supposed to be one of like the most depressing movies.
The saddest movie? Or
Yeah.
Or this time, Sophie doesn't have a choice. Take her other kid.
Jesus Christ. The most disturbing movie I've ever watched is titled The Platform. And I think it's actually a Spanish film that you can find translated on Netflix. So if it's not called The Platform, it's called La Plataforma, which means the platform in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, I know, shocking, right? So, no, but that movie is super twisted. Like the ending makes no sense, and it's super confusing, and it's really up to interpretation. But the overall movie is just really incredibly disturbing. And without giving out too many spoilers, it's basically about this guy who is in this like elevator shaft that has different levels, and the food begins at the very top level and goes all the way down to the bottom level. But at the bottom level, there's no food anymore, so that causes people to do crazy shit. It's fucking weird. Like, it's just really disturbing.
Was Spanish your first language?
I don't think so.
Oh, sí.
I don't know, honestly. I could have been speaking both because my parents, they spoke both. Like, my mom would speak English to me and my dad would speak Spanish to me. And then I'd go to Mexico all the time, back when it wasn't full of cartels. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old cartels.
Yep.
Oh, Abraham, I forgot to yell at you. You're not wearing a mask.
Oh, yeah, I am. You just can't see it because
It's translucent. Right.
Yeah.
Mine too, actually.
yeah.
I'm trying to tell people from now on. My mask is translucent. Yeah, I am. It's just see-through.
A lot of people have a big fit about the fact that you don't, let them know that you're wearing a translucent mask. But I think that kind of like, it kind of infringes against my autonomy and my negative rights, so.
I'm really struck by the sequel to Sophie's Choice, because you could make it depressing, but you could make it like a revenge pick, right?
Side.
No, it could be a revenge pick.
Is this something that I should watch, like, when I have tissues at hand or something?
No. You call the sequel Sophie Unchooses. And what she does is, what happens basically is she's picking tomatoes in her backyard when she discovers a cache of high quality weapons tucked behind her tomato bushes. And she says, you know what? Fuck those Nazis. And she just starts lock and load, right? And the movie ends just as the Nazis are driving away with their kid, right? And so she gets on a horse in a nearby field and jumps over the fence, and then the Nazis are looking behind them in their car and say, "What's that woman?" And they in the first scene basically she can't shoot the car because her kid's in the back, and the kid's screaming, "Mommy, mommy!" And so, but she's got a lot of different kind of weapons on her. She's got throwing knives. So one of the Nazis leans out. He's got like a Hitler-like mustache. He's like, "I'm nine," and she pull, and the knife goes, "Yow!" right through his head, and he falls out the car. And the like boss Nazi in the back goes, "Faster, faster!" And they start driving. But she's still on top of it. There's another throw, and it pops the back tire. It spins out, and for a second she sees her kid is about to fly out the window, and she's like, "Johnny," or whatever his name is, But then the Nazi pulls him back in, and she jumps off the horse, slides underneath the car, comes up the other side with two guns in her hands, and pow, pow, right to the head of both of the Nazis. Grabs her kid and says, "Baby, we gotta run." Then that begins the movie, and the rest of the movie is them escaping Nazi Germany.
Wow. Octavio says
that's a really good sequel too. Sophie's choice. He'll give it some redemption. You know?
I gotta watch
Sophie
the movie.
unchooses,
You guys
right.
made me want to watch the movie now.
Well, the thing is, what's crazy is Meryl Streep comes out of retirement to reprise her role as Sophie. Makeup is going to have a big job because they have to make her look just like she did back in the original one because supposedly no time has passed, right? So, but I have confidence. Also, she probably doesn't need makeup. That's how good of an actress Meryl Streep is.
Wow.
When she acts young, you see young.
Why do you have to make? Why can't it just be a present day version? Like maybe
Because
the same shit happens to her again.
Abraham. Oh, you mean like Taken Two?
Yeah. This time she's old and she's like,
Sophie's next choice. Well, goodbye, living child that is all grown up now. Oh my goodness, I'm pregnant with twins.
oh man, that's funny.
And then the Nazis come again and say, wait a second, this is the same movie as last time. What I really am looking forward to seeing, though, is the scene of the jump cut scene of Meryl Streep jumping over a gate. If you aren't familiar with the amazing jump cut scene from, I think it's Taken 3, or are there 4 of them? Where Liam Neeson they're trying to make Liam Neeson climbing over a fence exciting with a bunch of jump cuts and huge music shit.
So funny.
I will try to find the link for it.
It's worth it.
It's, how many ESFJs does it take to make the world's greatest cake?
Octavio says, Abraham, I like your hair, and I just want to say thank you. This haircut was actually done not too long ago, and I was really, really hoping to get it sooner, but I was just being lazy. And basically right now, the way I have it is like after getting a cut, but before that, I had cut it myself because I was on Adderall and they got in my way while I was eating, and I was like, fuck this fucking hair, and I just cut that shit off. And then I looked at myself and I was like, damn, that was kind of cool how I just did that. So then, yeah. But, yeah, so let's watch the...
All right, so we will watch now this. I'm going to mute this briefly so we can watch it over here without any copywriting.
Oh, okay.
This is the most exciting fence jump ever. There's a 10-hour video of that scene on loop. That's funny.
Oh, my God.
That is funny.
Oh, my God.
10 hours. That's like what you mentioned too.
I think the film editor was like, I'm going to get that overtime today.
Well, I think what happened is the film editor said, okay, this still looks incredibly lame. Let me add another cut. Well, it still looks incredibly lame. Let me add another cut. It's still, and then he says, well, at least it looks weird now, kind of.
It does.
There's no way I can make this old man climbing over a fence look cool. Yeah, there's no way to make that guy look cool climbing over the fence, but it's supposed to try to look cool. If you imagine them filming the scene, he's like, it's like we've all climbed over a fence before. It's not that exciting.
I need you to give that leg a bit more swing.
Yeah. I don't know who you could go.
But Meryl Streep is known, little known fact, Meryl Streep is known as the Jackie Chan of old lady actresses. She always does her own stunts. She's always breaking hips on the scene of movies. So I expect her to do her own stunts for Sophie Unchooses.
Sophie Unchooses.
The sequel to Sophie's Choice. The badass sequel to Sophie's Choice.
It's gonna take how many years to film it?
It's gonna have a $50 million budget, and we'll film on location in Germany. And it's gonna be big budget because anytime you want to get a lot of revenge going on, you're gonna have to see a whole slew of dead Nazis.
Oh damn!
Right?
She called Harvey Weinstein a god. Eek.
Well, all the more reason to make her do her own stunts.
That's what I'm talking about. She knows how to sing and dance, right? She's already got that from Mamma Mia. She
needs to break another hip. That'll be her payback for kissing Harvey Weinstein's ass. Because that's all she did, really. That's all she's guilty of is ass kissing someone powerful for obvious reasons.
Maybe she was like kind of cornered to like say that even, you know? Maybe she didn't want to do anything explicit.
Perhaps.
Or maybe she wanted to get a specific project green lighted that she was trying to push through him. And then she thought this might help. By the way, Abraham, let me reiterate. If you're tired, feel like bailing bail anytime. Don't feel obligated.
Oh no, I'm I'll get out of your hair. So.
I'm also not trying to get out of my hair. It's just I saw you yawning and you looked
no,
like
I'm just not like I'm not
Okay,
so
whatever.
it's been like 1 or 2 days.
Do as thou wishest.
I just changed.
Please tell Rachel. I said hi, Eric. Octavia said hi, Eric.
Oh god.
Is it because he didn't acknowledge you the first time, Octavia?
Octavia is a little.
Don't you know that Eric is God?
Octavia's foot stompy. That's just she's foot stompy. That's okay.
There's a lot we need some people like
Octavia's a female?
She's been
Octavia's a female?
Watcher?
That's a female?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Her internet name and her actual person are
okay.
I call her Quinceañera Golden.
Oh, okay.
Because she's a girl and she's not just silver, she's gold.
Oh, okay.
She's probably a year younger than you, maybe 2 years younger than you.
Oh, probably. Maybe. Quinceañera, maybe.
I'm probably one of the few people who's actually talked to Octavia Silva face to face, I would imagine. She seems kind of like, nobody gets to talk to me.
Oh, did you hear about Anthony and Tay, dude?
Anthony and Tay?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, not I don't know if it was Tay that was his girlfriend, but you were around when she was around. Well, obviously, because first it was Eric, and then it was the chicken's egg or whatever. But all I'm trying to say is that you may have known that chick, and you know who Anthony is for sure, right?
Anthony.
I'm
gonna mute this for a second.
Guy, so.
Oh wow, what juicy gossip!
So,
I had no idea. This is all news to me.
yeah.
Sometimes you learn some juicy gossip. Don't worry, I'm not gonna spill the beans. I'm gonna leave the viewers hanging.
Oh, how nice of you.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. I was just
pretty juicy gossip, but I maybe I'll piecemeal it out a little bit by little bit.
What a weird thing to happen.
I know that's like saying.
Like, what is the deal? I am not selling, in any sense of the word, any narratives that suggest
that guy
people
is
should
not
fuck around with each other. You know, I'm not
there,
pro adultery in any way, shape, or form.
And she's very attractive.
But, I guess you said she's very attractive?
Well, I wouldn't say like very. I would say like she's attractive. Like she doesn't like. I don't know why she would go for some low hanging fruit like that.
You're not sure why? What?
I'm not sure why she would go for some low-hanging fruit like that. Like, Anthony's a fucking smart kid, and he's just overall, like, a nice person. And for her to go to somebody like that individual is just fucking weird, slow,
You don't
and
like him at all?
No, I think he's borderline like retarded. Not like in a bad way. I'm saying like medically. Like I think he's fucking fucked up in the head. Really slow guy.
He might be unhealthy in some ways, but he's not retarded. I've had conversations with the guy.
I mean, that's your opinion. My opinion is that he could be fucking retarded because he acts like a fucking weirdo.
Okay, well.
So
were the two who were in the couples like separated? Like,
okay, after that, I want to answer Octavio Silva's question, and then I'll be out.
yeah. That's
But yeah, you were saying?
So the couple that were together,
Anthony and INFJ.
Yeah. Were they like not?
So
Ant. He always calls himself Ant. That's why I don't think of Anthony.
What Anthony communicated this, and he did this publicly. This is and I the way I see it is, I would be doing the community a favor by letting them know that there's somebody that was being unfaithful to a really good friend of mine. So
totally not in favor
all
of
I'm saying
secrets,
is that Anthony coordinated his life. This kind of like fucked with me too, because the way I seen it, it was like if Susan did something like that to me, I would be fucked up, because in most of the shit I've been doing, it is in mind with
a bunch
that.
of shit lined
Yeah,
up.
yeah, like everything.
Right, yeah.
So this individual fixes education. He's probably in debt right now with his whole, you know how school is.
Yeah.
Changed locations, states, and found out about this over the internet or the telecommunications rather than in person. But these are two people that had met, and took pictures, and I've seen pictures of them together, and so they look pretty happy together, and they're both very attractive people. So
and INFJ?
Yeah, and on the surface, it was like, I just can't see, like, it's an attractive person. Like, I don't like. I mean, INFJ's not a bad looking chick. Why the fuck would she go for some low hanging fruit, like fucking weirdo McWeirdo over here?
Chicks don't cheat because they're presented with something better.
You think it was just like the feeling?
I mean, chicks cheat when they are either very naive or not healthy.
Yeah, something's up. Usually, you're right.
I mean, I would say, like, it's possible for a healthy person to cheat. I cheated once in a relationship. Rachel engaged in revenge cheat in one relationship. But the thing is, if the experience of cheating doesn't knock some sense into you about the matter, then you're at that point become evil, basically. At least in your impacts on other people. You're evil in the first place anyway. But so in other words, if this is the first time she's ever done anything like that in any relationship, then it probably will kill that relationship. But nevertheless, it's too early to condemn her as a person. But if she's a serial cheater, then there's something wrong with her,
Yeah, well, the thing is, this is not something that happened once. It was an ongoing thing throughout the relationship. So it was like, messages of, well, don't let, Anthony know about our interactions.
Okay, well, like, that's the key
plural,
thing
like
that's the key thing about cheating, is that,
like,
at whom does the intimacy buck stop, right? Like, who do you tell your real secrets to? That's the person you're most intimate with. So in that case, if you're cheating, you're most intimate with the person you're cheating with, not with your significant other.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. Look, check this out. Look, so she's probably having great sex and going out with this young guy because he moved there to be in her area, and on the side, she's seeing this other guy, and they're having internet sex. But just think about that. Like, she chose that over, like, having sex, like actual sex. So what I'm trying to get at is there has to have been like something more than just like the sexual connection there, and maybe something else
Okay,
that she was thinking about.
I will point out this: she could be getting both in that instance, right? It doesn't necessarily have to replace the one. Now, when a dude cheats, there's a definite kind of replacement there. You have a limited number of loads to spew, but you know, it's not necessarily the case that her doing that on the internet reduced the amount of actual sex she had. But it's nevertheless, that doesn't minimize the harm done or the wickedness of the act. It's a betrayal of trust. That's what makes it wrong. Is it's a betrayal of trust. You're sharing with somebody else.
I'm just thinking about like I know that aspect of it. The only thing I'm thinking about is the level of like fucketry or fucked upness that this person is on. So because I can't really grasp it. Like how do you just do that? You know what I mean? Like how do you like
She says that she loved the attention. I mean, but like you said, it's like,
I mean, she never came on camera.
No, she didn't. But I'll tell you one thing. It's like I said, she didn't look like an ugly girl. You know, she just seemed like a nice, attractive girl. And you know, so is Anthony, which broke my heart because I was like, dude, Anthony's smart. Fucking got this motherfucker lost weight and everything, and you know, got himself together. And honestly, I just see it as like, damn, like that's just so fucked up. How could you do that to somebody? And I felt like I connected more to the situation because I know if something like that happened with me, and you know, I'm over here like trying to get like all my, you know, crap together to make things happen right a certain way. It just wouldn't be right, you know. Just be really messed up.
Terrible.
Aaron, none of what we've talked about here has involved TI, so I think you don't understand what that is. The thing is, these people are very young, of course, Anthony and INFJ, and Anthony learned a very hard lesson here. Hopefully he got out of the relationship.
Yeah.
And he will move forward with a clear sense of the risks of being with, of, you know, jumping to conclusions, I guess. Of course, sometimes you jump to conclusions and it turns out fine. And Rachel and I didn't dilly-dally, let's put it that way. And turned out great. So
So the last thing I'll answer is Octavia's question, which is, what is your favorite Eric story?
Oh, that's a great
question.
And
I have way too many favorite Eric stories, but my top two are the time I got stupid fucking high because I forgot I ate edibles after doing a whole flight of bong rips.
oh my god.
And when the edibles kicked in, I looked at Eric and I was like, Eric, I'm too fucking high. I just can't. And then, like, long story short, I like made a mess, and Eric kind of like took care of me in one way or another. And I was like, good at the end of the day. But the number one favorite story I have is the one that there's a video on, which is where Eric is having a conversation with the property owner at Paramount.
Yeah.
And he's basically telling them that they're holding his fucking money and making ownership claims about it. That's verbatim right there. And I like that story because, I don't know, it just seemed like the most, like, I mean, aside from that, the most GS shit I've ever seen Eric do is fuck the police with the police on the same freeway, rolling a blunt with his two hands and steering the wheel with his knee on the freeway, doing like 80. And
I'm pretty skilled at rolling joints while driving.
And he's like, fuck the police, and he's got like his aviators on. I'm like, dude, that was like one of the first weeks that I had worked with him. We were on our way to Rebay. And so that's my favorite story from Eric. Him being like, you're holding my fucking money. and making ownership claims about it. And then the communication barrier there was the other assistant in the office who didn't speak English and was like, Eric, good debater, no yell, Eric. It's like this weird Chinese stoic guy that was trying to like diffuse the situation and
he's trying to avoid my questions.
Yeah, get away with yeah.
And not answer my questions, which always drives me crazy. So Aaron, one of the things that Abraham coached for me was Congress, which is a debate format, and he did a great job of handling the TI requirements of it. But his Congress is primarily a speech event, so the thing is, don't make the mistake of thinking it's because somebody's fourth slot TI, they're going to sound dumb to you or something. It's ridiculous. Just because they don't use that particular kind of logical calculus to figure things out doesn't mean they're dumb or can't understand things. It's like Abraham was working with kids on Congress speeches that required them to make arguments. Often he consulted with me on what kind of arguments, but he tried to make those arguments more FE friendly and less TI heavy, which is important for Congress. It works better.
I think the biggest thing that I was good at was making things sound good and viable. That was the biggest thing. I mean, were the arguments well thought out in terms of the weight, like the weight they would have? Probably not, but I mean, yes, a little bit, but maybe not a whole lot as other debate formats. But mainly it was like Eric said, because it's a speech event, it's mostly just helping the kids understand that they have to role play, the U.S. Senator role and then sound good and all of that good stuff.
And one of the nice thing and interesting things about fourth slot TI is, unlike third slot, where whatever your third slot function is, you're always kind of like, I can do it myself, Mom. But fourth slot is happy to receive assistance in those areas. So Abraham was fine delegating some of the TI argumentation in the Congress arguments to me, and I'd say, well, maybe have them argue this, and then he'd have them polish it into a proper Congress speech, which is mostly presentational stuff. So it's like, it's pretty clear to me that TI is fourth in Abraham, that he's an ESFJ. And also that that you kind of diminish the potential of people who have fourth slot TI. Just because you got fourth slot TI doesn't mean you're dumb.
It's kind of interesting though, because my relationship with Susan, who is an INTP, is like our TI sometimes like not necessarily clashes, because that sounds too dramatic. But it's like I have a small 99-cent store hammer that looks like it'll probably break if you strike a nail with it. And she's got a fucking Home Depot Husky sledgehammer. And then I'm like, I hit the nail, and then like the nail like gets crooked, and like I don't hit it straight. But then she comes and then she just fucking bam, and like the whole thing gets like nailed in. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. It's like, like it works. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Yeah.
I had a traditional Mexican wife, kind of, and it's not a bad suggestion to whoever said that Lee Trimmer wants a Mexican wife. Candace, was what you call her, the old school kind of Mexicanish wife, which is to say she expected herself to do a lot of wife stuff like cleaning and cooking and whatever. Although she didn't cook much, but she expected to be sort of in charge of the family and the house and decorating and stuff like that and all that kind of stuff. So
homemaker.
Yeah, if you want a old school style wife, then a old school Mexican wife is not a bad idea. However, note that relationship didn't last, but she didn't cheat either, right? So it's like there was zero cheating, and also Leaf Trimmer. You'd been happy with her because if you got her in the way that I did, which is I got her when she was 21. She'd only had like a couple of partners maybe before me. So That would make you happy if you were to find such an individual. They would both be, adequately pure for your purity test, and also, defaulting to obedient wife role or something. Not that Candace was obedient at all. She was just defaulting to wife role.
Dude, I really like this light.
Thanks. Really I was 31 at the time. She was 10 years younger.
Okay. Last one.
And keep in mind, I'm not keeping her. I've told him he can leave anytime he wants, multiple times now.
Last one. Okay, so this one says, Abraham, what does antipolar feel like? Antipolar is something I can't necessarily describe. That's my first thought on that. But the second thought is in my head, because I don't necessarily understand what NI is other than your ability to look forward and be conscious about decisions that will affect your future in one way or another. NI is, because it is what it is for me, I feel like it has made me into a better person because I kind of have come to terms with living my life with being okay with not being capable of managing everything that's ahead of me. Like having that level of, what's the word, Eric? Foresight?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that's what NI is really, but that's one aspect of it that, sure,
right,
you're recognizing patterns and how they're going to play out long term. And so you're saying, well, I'm comfortable letting things play out as they play out, which is it was a natural sort of alternative to be using an NI frame of reference.
Right.
Yeah.
What you're trying to say is I'm fucking smart and you don't fucking know. I'm just playing.
Exactly.
No, I'm totally kidding. Yeah, I honestly, like, even if I knew, I probably would fucking suck ass at explaining it.
No, I think you did a good job. I think you did an excellent job of saying one way in which you understand NI and understand yourself in relation to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's like,
he doesn't want a bong rip. I already offered him one.
For me, it's like fucking weird. Like, it's like the cat, and you play with a toy, and the cat's trying to like fucking like paw at the toy, and it's like, and then it like can't find it or like can't grab it. That's like me. I'm just kind of like, okay, I think that's what that is, but then I just don't think.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a quick.
It really is, because that's how I am with TE. Like, it's like a whole. Like,
TE for me is such a interesting thing, and like I enjoy TE so much so that sometimes on my exams I fucking test as ESTJ. Anytime there's like a new exam, I'll like test for it, and then I think that's probably because I'm a 2-wing 3, and I like to think that I'm like the shit in terms of motivation. And
well, if you're an interface type, you're good at both interfaces to some extent. So like I'm an action type, I can do a fair amount of SC. I'm pretty good at it. I kind of enjoy it. Sometimes I enjoy it just for its own sake.
I agree with that.
So you're an interface type, means you're good at both interface functions, which is FE and TE. Yeah. What I had one question I wanted to ask you, which is, do you encounter this occasionally where Susie will say, "But you said meow 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 meow," and you'll go, "But those words were from a long time ago, and why do you still think they count?"
No, but I do encounter a lot of I say something because I'm not the best at choosing my words. So sometimes I say things that don't necessarily communicate well. Like I'll choose words that, the definition of the word simply just does not fit what I'm trying to use it for. And so because Susan is very like facts and objective and logical, she's like, okay, but why are you saying this? And I'm like, wait, this is upsetting because normally people just understand what I'm trying to say. And then she goes, no, you're confusing me because of this word that you're using. And then I go, okay, cool. So this is what I'm trying to say. And then like, it like helps me because it just, I don't know. It's cool. I mean, but I've never had any problems.
Any consolation, I used 2 words wrong the other day. in the same day. First, I used the word pederast wrong, as I had been using it wrong for quite a long time. I learned that it doesn't mean what I thought it meant. The word that I was trying to say was hebephile, which is somebody who's attracted to teenage
you do
girls.
realize that some of these fucking words you use, they're like, I mean, you might as well start your own fucking section that's like, hey, today's Eric's section of let's learn new words. Like,
I mean, like, but the point is, I use words wrong too. That same day, I used the word puerile to mean what I meant to say was purient, and
like my one of my imitations of Eric, which may not be as good anymore because I haven't done it in a while, but one of my imitations of Eric is basically like, I believe this is the metaphysical, ontological, Neanderthal, and it's like it just goes on, a bunch of like big words, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm supposed to be seeing this as a cube and a cube and a cube, and it's like, oh shit, like too many dimensions.
And you can also note that when Abraham does his imitations of me, he's limited somewhat by his pool of
words,
of fancy words,
of big words,
to stick in there like science talk in Star Trek. Well, the quantum field of the reverse polarity of all just random science talk.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the deal, guys. I suspect that Abraham is tired, wants to go.
I gotta roll.
So we're gonna say adieu to my old pal Abraham Rincon, and one of the success stories of talking with famous people, romance.
Yeah.
Also, the bearer of one of the sad stories. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Totally. And even beyond my relationship with Susan, I think that working with Eric certainly taught me a lot of different things about not just having a fucking job,
Cheese,
but cheese and like management. Because now I'm in a position of management, and I'm doing things that I remember. I learned that when I was with Eric.
Right on. That's
like,
good to hear.
That's cool. Like,
thanks for sharing that with us.
So Eric has definitely impacted my life in ways that I can never really pay him back for, because he played a really good role in mentoring me and
mutually beneficial relationships.
Well, I mean,
I'm
I'm not trying to embarrass you. All I'm trying to say is Eric says a lot of funky shit and is fucking out there with some of his ideas, and but he's Eric, and I like Eric, and I love Eric, and that's why I swing by every now and then, and say hi, or like I'll text him or something, and yeah.
Word up. So let's have a big hand for Abraham. When we get back after the commercial break, Lawrence Welk will be our guest. Lawrence Welk. We're going to intermission now.
That's funny.
Intermission. Knocked over something. No.
Hopefully not your bung.
I don't think so. All right, bye, Abraham.
That's trippy.
All right.
You got your meow?
What's up?
You got your meow?
Oh no, I don't think so.
No, I'm saying you got your meow. Yes, you got your meow.
What do you?
The meow you came here for.
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
That's what I knocked over.
Okay.
That's what I knocked over.
I'm sorry to do it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I knocked over. I put it right next to you. You didn't know I done that. Hey, can you?
Yeah.
I think it's. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. I got it.
How's Cam doing?
I just saw him the other day. He's doing well. Seems to be doing quite well. He got a new Scion SB, in addition to the white one that he got that used to be mine, and
he fixed that thing.
He's still dating that ESFP, so.
That's never a really good start.
That's not a good sign, yeah.
No. Bye, I'll see you.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Bye, Abraham. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Drive safe. Pull with all your might. There you go.
Sure.
Given that your argument is neither relevant nor sound,
Alright.
your certainty has faded.
Let's play ball game.
You're making unaided error. Can you make a sound? Based on just a little loop, round and round it goes. I wonder if you heard me at all. You're the one who rang me up. Did you really think I wasn't gonna answer the call? Everybody thinks they're immune. I've been down before, I have been up at last. I can tell you from experience, it's at best momentary past. But that reasoning just don't fly. You're guilty of some sort of intellectual treason, and I'm putting you to death. Fuck yeah, get in the box, bitch. Hell's not gonna save you. Ain't no salvaging this one. All the people with their arguments state their claims with such confidence. Yet, or not, they know things as yet to be ascertained. All the people with their arguments state their claims with such confidence. Yet, or not, they know things as yet to be ascertained.
That's a good song. I like that song.
Me too.
The courteous potato men politely sell potato skins as bears to wear upon the chins of everyone with cash to spend. Potato bears distinguish one and also are a lot of fun. And when the wearing time is done, then one can chew his beard like gum. But Frances is contrarian, so though she loves her tuber friends, she will not jump aboard the trend and lace her chin as her own skin and classy. Here's how Mr. Lau boasts proudly of his bushy brow. So later on she visits farms to woo potatoes with her charm. She's recognized her potato po, a spot beloved. High and low and knowing best because of how he has the best potato brow. So Frances musters up her cute and makes up a sob story too. And soon enough, Sir Po is sold both on her words and vision. Next week, Frances enters into business with potato men with Sir Topo as her spokesman. An urgent hurry to begin, and thus both tweezers came to be. They formed a happy LLC and dealt with Browworks Company, and people had a stud brow spree. Flood brow spree. Flood brow spree. Flood brow spree. And now with Mr. Lau again, it's Frances's turn to present. But Frances doesn't talk of how she made it big in tater brows. Instead, she wants to talk of beards. But Mr. Lau, who's sick of hearing speeches on the beardiness, made rules to prohibit it. But Frances works around this while she speaks of Dr. Cat or Walter Ronde Hoogers, who was tall and pale, humorless and bald. But Dr. Hoogers also had a foremost place in making fads, and he in fact began the trend when he once hawked potato chips. He claimed his gens were curative and great if you prefer to live, but secretly he added lead, which shouldn't go upon your head. When people started getting sick, the doctor pulled a nifty trick and changed his name and moved away so people couldn't make him pay. For all the damage he had done, he kept the money, made a neighborhood and settled near Francis's house and called himself now Mr. Loud. But Francis had researched a lot before Pochies her, so she got the information she needed to learn. Her teacher needed the Forest Service and the cops, the FBI, karate chops, detectives roaming far and wide to claim reward on Huger's side. So when his student speech was done, then Mr. Dog began to run, and no one seen or heard him since, says it should be till he repents. But Raspberry, but Raspberry, but let's go to my tweet house. I know it's Mr. Raspberry, gonna get some browse for you and me. Gonna go buy browse right now. Hey, wait, was that Mr. Wow?
That video and song should be on someone's list of cool internet things no one knows about. People everywhere gather up, enemies outraged at how they miss a sign. How do they set their priorities? These falling backstabbing into thieves, ensuing heartache and misery follow necessarily from their savage ways. Insulting Carson and Desiree, we're stuck with such very luxury. We all partition the rectories and call it destruction of the whole damn world. Julie shares our land. Hoping Julie will do. Jerry shares for 4 minutes. He just can't do things like they do. Julie always thought that she should have got to when she had the chance to buy. Julie soon forgot about tune and odd, although she have a call. People everywhere gather up, enemies outraged at how they miss a sign. How do they set their priorities? These foreign backstabbing entities, ensuing heartache and misery follow necessarily from their savage ways. Insulting Carson and Desiree, we're stuck in such petty luxury. We all partition the rectories and cause destruction of the whole damn world. Whether or not we have another song in this intermission depends on what song comes up next. If it's something I really want to see, then we'll let the intermission persist. Barry was kind of thinking. Texters in the parks.
This morning I woke up with leggy ladies.
I might myself.
Hey guys, I got my hair cured.
But it's true, Rachel and I got our hairs just
Yeah,
cut
we did.
today.
Don't we look like a couple of dapper Dans? That, I hope that lady, all the best.
NI is greater than any. Like, as in the same way that 7 is greater than 3.
It's true.
Or in the same way that Muhammad Ali is greater than Leon Spinks.
I don't even know who Leon's.
He's a less great boxer.
Ah.
Hey, is everybody doing your brackets for the tournament?
I was thinking about making another one because I think the one that I made, I have Florida winning, and like I'm okay with that, but I also want to see someone.
Yeah, well, you should make one that's totally without my interference for sure. Additionally, I have another plan for a tournament bracket video, and I will explain it to you later in a second, Rachel. I think what we're going to do actually is very shortly, within the next he just left, Tatum. ESFJ was here. He was here, he was queer, he didn't want any more bears, but now he's the barber was a Mexican woman. She's my Mexican woman barber. It's a cool story, actually.
Yeah.
She's this Mexican woman who owns the little barbershop on Cloverleaf, and watches Mexican novellas all day while you're in there getting a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool part of the story is there's another barbershop in Temple City, which is the old white man barbershop. Okay, so it's like all the barbers in there are old white barbers, the old school barbers, and all the old white guys in Temple City go there, and they get the lather with the brush, the straight razor. You get your barbershop conversation like, so did you see the game last night? And it's like, it's unavoidable. You have to engage in this sort of banal man talk there. So I went there like twice, and then I realized this place is dumb. I don't like this. This is silly. I'm going to the Mexican lady. Anyway, much later on, I found out she owns both barbershops.
Good for her.
Which I just thought was absolutely fantastic. Okay. She speaks broken English, right?
Mm-hmm. Which I always feel like when I'm there, I'm like, oh man, I really wish I knew more.
And she watches these novellas in her shop, and she does business in the like little squalorly barbershop, right? That's it only has 2 chairs. It only has room for 2 chairs, and she has another lady who I think is a relative of hers who helps cut hair there sometimes. You know, she had a darkness about her today. That I'm sure is due to all the COVID shit. You know, she probably got sick of having to take her top off to cut hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, but hilariously, she owns the other barbershop and puts together this little barbershop theater for everybody. Isn't that fantastic?
It really is.
It's such a beautiful story.
Yeah, I got a new haircut, and so did Eric, actually.
Being based and red pilled.
See this little, I did this. I can see the spots where I cut my hair, like that. She helped me.
Scott Steiner, let me just say for the record that Lil B can have none of my bitches. And he's fortunate if I don't take his bitches and redistribute them to the poor.
Thank you, Tatum. I appreciate it.
No, I mean, it's like, okay, so let's say you're a guy like me living in Temple City, guy who looks just like me. And you want to believe that you live in this neighborhood that is kind of Americana. And so, sure enough, there's this Americana barbershop there. It does things the old Americana way. Except it's just a show that the Mexican lady is putting on for people who are willing to pay more to get their haircut for the silly show that they're going to have to put on for them.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so brilliant and hilarious.
It is brilliant.
Of course, I'm no sucker. I'm not going to go there. But she's fast, no chit chat.
Yeah,
in and out.
no.
Bam.
Last time she knew that I was like nervous, and so she was talking to me more, and she was like, "Oh, the telenovelas."
This is before COVID.
See, and she was talking about the 2 telenovelas being funny and stuff. Yeah, but this time, she was all
She's
business.
much darker.
It was okay.
Spirits.
I was okay
Yeah.
with
It's like, here's a woman who has just burned through half her net wealth sustaining herself during this forced shutdown of her business.
Yeah.
So that's the feel I got from her. Not that we talked about it at all, but I did enjoy the telenovelas.
Me too, actually.
They're very strange. I wanted to ask her, but didn't because she seemed to not be in a very chatty mood or whatever.
Yeah.
If there's a specific telenovela that she prefers over the other ones, because to me they all seem like the same. And I speak Spanish much better than I speak Japanese. Is the other thing I realized. I can understand a lot of what's going on in those shows.
That's so cool.
But I can't quite follow it. It's a little bit too I have a little bit too small of a vocabulary, and they go a little bit too quick in some parts, and so I can't quite actually process it. I just get pieces of scenes. Like, well, in this piece of the scene, he was saying something about his aunt being dead, and this other person saying that it wasn't their fault. You know, I might get like that much out of it. You know,
you got the jar. You
I might
the
get
gist of
that
it.
piece right. There's a scene. I might just get that piece of it away from it. But I can't do that with Japanese at all. I have to see the subtitles. There's no way I could understand anything in Japanese.
Yeah.
I did, Scott Steiner. I actually did. And what was I about to bust your chops about, or wrong correct you, or whatever? I was going to say something to you. I was going to be like, yeah. Oh yeah, I already did. I already told you that thing about Lil B. Never mind.
It's like those telenovelas are like your version of your grandma's stories.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, my observation of myself was that if somebody were to watch, is sort of like an outsider, watch anime without any subtitles, that one would think that they were all the same.
Yeah.
And that's kind of maybe what I'm thinking watching them. They look the same. They have the same kind of construction in the way that there are these scenes that are structured like, first there's an old man and a young man, then there's a scene with a young man and a young woman, there's a scene with a young woman and an old man, and there's a scene with an old woman and a young woman, and then maybe there's a scene of a group thing or whatever. It's like, and they go between these sets, and they're all intense conversations. Presumably they link to each other. And then that novella ends, the next one starts, and it's the same thing, but with cowboy hats. So I was like, I wonder if these seem very different to her, because they don't seem very different to me. It just seems like a bunch of serious conversations in pairs, and then an occasional group thing. I guess that's how they differentiate the storylines, is by taking advantage of those sort of social distinctions, old woman, young woman, and the implied hierarchy between the two. There's probably more hierarchy in Mexican culture than there is in American culture.
Yeah.
I would guess.
I think so.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up now, because there's some fun things I want to do with Rachel, but also a important thing I want to do with Rachel, namely get cigarettes. I'm out of cigarettes.
Okay, cool. Can we get some drinks?
Yeah, let's go to the store and get some sodas and shit.
Okay.
I am so done with not having beverages. Although we are going on vacation tomorrow.
So why don't I was thinking if you get your cigarettes, you could just get like a bottle of.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's go. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, let's go to. Yeah, I'm currently watching Fairy Tale, Scott Steiner, and enjoying it. It's candy. It's breezy candy, but you know what? It's pretty fast moving. It doesn't bore me, and I'm liking the characters. You know, I'm liking them.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Grammys? Everyone wants to know what you think about Grammys.
I don't watch them. That's the one. Like, I used to watch the Oscars, the Emmys, and the Golden Globes. Sometimes the SAGs. But the Grammys, once I learned that the artists know the categories they're winning, then I was like,
They do? They know in advance who's going to win?
yeah, they do.
Why? That's the only way to get them to go to the award ceremony.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Because then they get, you can get a performance out of them. Like, it is a little bit more.
Yeah, I get
Film Actors Guild is like that. Yeah, so the Grammys are ones that I don't really watch. I'll watch it if a friend wants to watch, or like if it's on TV when I'm at work. Like, I worked a lot of restaurant jobs, so they would have it on and stuff. Oh geez.
Scott Steiner, will you stop code gassing me? You know what? I got the code. Put it up your gas. What do you think about that? Pretty snappy, huh? Okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll remember next time I'm looking for something. I always forget. I look for things and I forget that somebody's. I should listen to you. You seem to have good taste in anime. I mean, you watch the same things I do, so you must have pretty good taste in anime.
Yeah, you do have good taste in anime. When I heard that you were watching Fairy Tales, it's a good passerby.
Yeah, the thing is, the nice thing about it is there's shit tons of episodes.
Yeah.
So I like to have one that I'm into, at least kind of. That yeah. Perhaps maybe not though. I think I'll probably go to sleep. We've got to go to the desert tomorrow. Oh, I've got a 10 a.m. typing tomorrow. And then after that we gotta go to the desert. And so I'm gonna try to get a good amount of sleep tonight. But what you can expect, for instance, Mom, is that if Rachel or I see any kind of art gallery that we could go in and make a little video in, we definitely will do so on our little vacation.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't be at all surprised if we intentionally find one to do that at. Now that your response to the previous one has reinforced the frame of reference that says, I like looking at it and talking about art. You know, there is that one video where I went to the Museum of Tapestries or whatever.
Oh.
The Museum of Tapestries, where the lady told me to stop filming, and I filmed the argument I got in with the lady at the museum. But once I reassured them that I wouldn't monetize that video, they said, okay, fine. So that's a fun video if you've not seen it.
I'm not.
It's I'll see if I can find the link and put it here. And then we're gonna end the stream and we gotta go do a couple things and I'll explain this cool idea I have that I wanted to explain to Rachel for a fun little thing. And you'll see it in video form later. No, we're not coming back to live stream again. There's not gonna be any more live streams today, but there may be another video published later about the NCAA tournament. So anyway, what I'm trying to find now is that museum of like weavings or whatever it was called, you know.
Yeah.
It is in the playlist called Out and About. I suspect, but let me see here. Museum. Yeah, Eric gets the quilting museum, right? Eric gets in trouble at the quilting museum.
Oh my god.
Okay. It only has 78 views. It's from 4 years ago. Even Winston's mom might not have seen this video.
Wow.
It only has 78 views in 4 years. Even though it has the provocative title, Eric gets in trouble at the quilting museum. I'm curious, Winston's mom, have you seen this video? Eric gets in trouble at the quilting museum? How could you not watch a video titled Mia gets in trouble at the quilting museum? But yet 78 views in 4 years. That is such a compelling title.
You're ahead of your time.
I'm somebody who can say on his deathbed, well, at least I got in trouble at a quilting museum. Legends fall. You know what? Fuck off because you're probably right. But regardless, you're interfering with my prescription for how it's gonna go tonight with your prediction of how it's probably gonna go, and you're interfering with my creation of my own reality. So just, shh.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyway, so that's the video. See you later. Thanks for being here.
Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.
Yeah, don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.